I don't understand competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players. This deck easily can take on Pendulum Magician, Spyral, and Trickstar. It's a very good deck, but players still tend to want to try to mix it with other decks. Not saying that's a bad idea, but the pure route is really good, and I mean competitively good. I mean, you could probably say your opponent might try to worm their way out of situations this deck can put them in. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, you can Dragonic diagram that notification bell because we just too strong. Without further ado, I present to you a True Draco deck profile inside of the 2018 format. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, starting off with the monsters, this deck is really good. We run 3 copies of Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King, and I'm telling you guys, this monster is a masterpiece. Get it? Because his name is Masterpiece, and he's a masterpiece. He's a piece of a... Okay, whatever. Instantly, this is the boss monster of your deck. It can be tribute summoned by attributing a spell, trap, or monster, any combination of the two, and it's unaffected by whatever you guys decide to tribute. Furthermore, during either player's turn, you can banish a continuous spell or trap card from your graveyard to destroy a card on the field. This card is a match made in heaven, high respectable attack, even high defense, really good effects. Why aren't people playing this deck? I don't know, maybe they don't like winning, but this deck easily can tip the scales into your favor just off of this card outright. Next is 3 copies of Majesty Maiden the Draco Caster. When your opponent activates a card effect, you can add 1 True Draco monster from your deck to your hand. Really good for searching your Masterpiece. Also, the 2300 body is really good. This card is easily the best card to search all of your monsters from your deck to your hand. Next is the next best card, which would be Miriam the True Draco Phoenix. Now, before the Forbidden List took away Dynamite and True King's Return, this card wasn't as needed because it has so much searchability and a way to play its monsters on its own right. But now Miriam comes into the fray, and when she's destroyed, she adds 1 True Draco monster from your deck to your hand. I'm telling you, this big chicken can worm your way into a lot of situations. I don't know if chicken or worms really work together, but I do know the early bird gets the worm, and this card is definitely that bird to get you any of your worm monsters. You guys like these worm puns, I know you like that. 1 copy of Ignis. Unfortunately, it's limited to 1, but when your opponent activates a card effect, you can add a spell card from your deck to your hand. That is a True Draco. So this small, very small monster lineup is somewhat similar to the Little City of 2007 Yu-Gi-Oh! Being able to play such a very small engine, but being able to dominate with your spells and trap cards, and more importantly, your monster and monster effects. And this is something that a deck does do, or this deck does do, able to take away your opponent's biggest strengths while providing you some really strong monsters and forcing them to fight them. That's it for the monsters at 10. For the spells, we run 3 copies of Dragonic Diagram. Diagram. The field spell. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This card allows you to destroy a monster spell or trap on your hand or field to search a True King or a True Draco card from your deck to your hand. It's a really good card, but its true value is that your tribute summon True King and True Draco monsters once can't be destroyed by battle. That's something that a lot of people can't take advantage when you play other rogue decks or other variants of the deck. Just having a monster such as Masterpiece not being able to be destroyed by battle once is pretty big, especially when monsters like Utopia and you've already wasted your monster's effect come along. So this card is really good. It also searches your essential pieces and works extremely well with the chicken. Next is 3 copies of Terraforming to search your 3 Dragonic Diagram, not grams, Dragonic Diagram. Grandma, don't watch this video. This card gets you the most essential card you need, which will essentially tutor any card that you want from your deck to your hand. 3 copies of Disciples of the Draco Phoenix. This card is a pot of avarice for the deck. Being able to shuffle any of your True Draco or True King cards from your graveyard to your deck to draw 1 card gives you so much advantage, and the fact that it's a True Draco card, it can be searched through Diagram. 3 copies of True Draco Heritage. Now this card is really good. Anytime you want to draw 3 cards, just destroy 1 True Draco monster, destroy 1 True Draco spell, destroy a True Draco trap, then activate this card. It's going to give you 3 free draws for every True Draco or True King card on your side of the field destroyed during that turn. It's a really good card. Keep in mind the True Draco and they're True Draco cards. I thought they were True King cards too. The True Draco cards allow you to destroy opponent's spell and trap cards when they are sent to the graveyard. Actually, spell and trap cards for that matter, period. And they're really good when sent to the graveyard. They also grant you the additional tribute summon of a True Draco monster. So, really broken spell cards you got going on there. We follow up the Phoenix and the Heritage with 3 copies of Card of Demise. This card allows us to draw 5 cards, and then at the end of our 5th turn, we have to discard our entire hand. Okay, that's the anime effect, but still, drawing until you have 3 cards is pretty good. And also the fact that we can use this card on main phase 2, coupled with the fact that we don't special summon. This card's almost always live for this deck. Also, we only have 10 monsters, so drawing a handful of spell and trap cards, the end phase effect doesn't really affect us. 3 copies of Pot of Duality. Now this is again a deck that does no special summoning whatsoever, so it's completely unfazed by cards like Card of Demise and Pot of Duality and can gain 100% of their benefits, allowing you to dig deeper into your deck. 2 copies of Pot of Desires, a card that is seen quite risky by a lot of players. Now, as you guys can see, we run 3 copies of almost every single card in this deck, so banishing just about 2 of almost any card in this deck doesn't matter, especially when you couple it with True Draco Phoenix that can recycle your cards that you draw and only have 1 of. I mean, it's not really a risk when you're doing it like this. Come on, man, give me some space. Now, a lot of people have noticed that I'm not running the Spellbook engine, and there's a pretty big reason for that. Don't get me wrong, I actually like the Spellbook engine a lot. I think it's a pretty good engine, but these spell and trap cards are gonna blow your mind once I show them to you. Like, that makes sense, TheCaliEffect, you a savage. 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, and I know you guys are like, whoa, why are you mainboarding this card? Anti-Spell Fragrance is good against all 3 decks, Trickstar, Pendulum Magician, and Spyral. Mainly because Spyral wants me to go first. If I go first against a Trickstar matchup, it's gonna stop most of their searches. And Pendulum Magician, I mean, yeah, Pendulum Magician. What are those again? This card is a complete shutout against the meta decks, and we can abuse it to our favor. Seeing that it is a continuous trap card, it can be tributed for any of our True King monsters on our turn, and then on our opponent's turn, we just flip up another one and prevent them from using their spell cards. 3 copies of True Draco Apocalypse. This card's really good as well. Being able to destroy monsters on the opponent's turn is good, but also being able to tribute summon on your opponent's turn is another good thing. Compared with True Draco Apocalypse actually can destroy our spell cards, which will destroy their back row, and reduce the attack of our opponent's monsters. Too strong, man. Come on now. 3 copies of the Monarchs Erupt. Now this card is saucy and is another reason why we don't run Spellbook Magician. You can only activate this card if you have no cards in your extra deck, which is the reason why we have 0 cards in our extra deck. And we control the Tribute Summon monster, which isn't that hard, seeing that our deck is full of Tribute Summonable monsters. My opponent, or all monsters in the field that aren't Tribute Summons effect or monsters effect, are negated. That's pretty damn good. It's like Skill Drain, except I can run 3 of them. Perfect. The next best thing about this card is if we don't control the Tribute Summon monster, this card is destroyed on our end phase, not the opponent's end phase. There's been quite a few times where our opponent actually wipes my board and they're like, okay, so Monarch's Erupt is going on my end phase, right? And I'm like, nah, buddy. I still have 1 full turn to Tribute Summon a monster or use this card as tribute to bring out a monster. This card's really saucy in the deck. 1 copy of True King's Return. This card is limited to 1, but allows us to special summon monsters that are True King or True Draco to our side of the field, giving us free tributes, free destructions, free basically whatever we want. 1 copy of Skill Drain to negate all monster effects, and I was really stuck between this card and another card, which I think I'm gonna side towards the card. I don't have it in right now, but this card is Waterfall of the Dragon Souls, but it just might go back to Imperial Order. I felt that Imperial Order wasn't really needed with Anti-Spell Fragrance, but hey, what do you need to do to win? Play all the great cards. But Waterfall of the Dragon Souls is a pretty good card. It allows you to search a worm. If you're gonna get board wiped, just tribute it off or draw cards. But I think I'm gonna take it out for that Imperial Order, mainly because Imperial Order is just like, I mean, Imperial Order is nasty in here. It's like, it doesn't matter. I can tribute whenever I want to get all them spells. You know, I activate Spell Fragrance on the standby phase. They activate Twin Twisters. I chain Imperial Order. Bruh, you know, good times, bro. Good times. You remember that time when you lost because I opened, you know, Masterpiece, Imperial Order, Anti-Spell, and you opened all of the outs, but you didn't have them because I had an Imperial Order? Yeah, I remember those times. Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's going to sum up the main deck with the Trapped at 12, putting the entire deck at 42 cards. We run 42 in here because of Desires. It's a card that I don't want to see, and if I do see, I want to banish, and if I do banish cards, I want to have enough cards to banish, and just a whole little story behind that. But let's get into this side deck. So the side deck's a little different. I actually side out Card of Demise in the game too. I side out Card of Demise and a couple other cards, and I actually play Cypher and Gear Gamma because more often than not, if your opponent isn't maining Droll and Lock, which a lot of players have been moving away from, they're gonna side it, and then Gamma comes in so clutch. You activate your diagram, you destroy a card, your opponent goes ahead, oh well, I'm just gonna Droll and Lock you, and you go, no you're not, I'm gonna Gamma you. You special summon the Cypher and Driver to your side of the field, and now you have monsters to tribute for your True King monster, and now you can put a Spellin monster on the board to tribute for your Masterpiece. It's a really good card. Next is 3 copies of Epsilon. This card is going to stop the Trickstar Reincarnation, which is a pretty good card to the opponent's strategy. The Cypher Driver, which is the card that you play to use these cards' effects. 1 copy of Raigeki, 1 copy of Dark Hole. This card is board clearance. Sometimes your opponent might make that board that you're not too comfortable with looking at, so you go second, you side in those board clearance cards. Next is 3 copies of Evenly Matched. This card is, I mean, I wish I could say more things about Evenly Matched to make it look less of a douchebag card, to be honest with you guys, but I can't really say anything. And then the other 3 cards that are mandatory if you're playing meta, if you ask me, Mind Crush, to be able to declare Evenly Matched, because if your opponent does go to battle phase without, you know, playing anything in main phase, more often than not they have an Evenly Matched, and if you call Evenly Matched with Mind Crush, that sucks to be you. More importantly, Mind Crush can also call other cards too, so, you know, there's that. But thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I hope you guys enjoyed. This deck is really good. I think it's a really good sleeper. It's the perfect deck to be using when you're going to a local, regional, or possibly even a YCS level event. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. Also, y'all ain't been checking out my Patreon, bro. I need y'all to check out that Patreon because we got some awesome rewards for you guys. People that have been asking for deck profiles, I mean, you can get a personal one right there. We have so many great rewards. Go ahead and stay too strong, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I kidding? Gentlemen.